Hi, welcome back. It's Jackie from White Raven. I don't know if you've just watched my snow globe winter village. I made it in a very large size, like 8 by 10 type of thing, and I thought I'd try and make it again, knowing what I know now and the things that I've learned, but make it smaller and just see how that works out. Might be able to give this as just a cute little giveaway to a friend for Christmas or something like that. So all I've done is I printed these as 5 by 7s, and I printed all of these village scenery pieces as well, but I printed them all on white cardstock or cream colored cardstock, and then when I cut them out, I just cut the tops and I extended the bottoms, and then I placed them in the order that I want them to go in my snow globe. If you haven't seen the other video, go watch that, because this will make a little more sense. But I just thought there might be an easier way to make this happen. And so I thought I would try this and take you guys with me and see if it works out or not. So hang on to your britches, because I'm going to make this all fit. And all I'm going to do is, like I said, get these pieces that I want in here. I might not put them all in because it's a fairly small piece. This one is a little bit smaller, so I might just take like this many, take one out, maybe maybe that one, put this one in. You know, I'm going to just reorganize these a little bit, and then once I got an order that I want, I will come back and show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, so just for the make's sake, I think that's going to be okay. So I've got them all lined up here. It's the order that I want. And now I'm just going to make sure that they're going to fit in here. And I can see that this printed a lot bigger than this. So I don't know, maybe the orientation was out or something. But I'm going to make this work anyway. So I'm just going to go and say, okay, I want it that big. I want to get the top of the mountain in there, right? So what I'm going to do for second is I'm just going to staple this edge right, staple the edge, not right to the edge because I might have to trim that off, and then fit, see where I need to fit this in there. And I think that's going to be kind of cute, right? That'll flip open. It'll have the window again, and it'll have a backdrop as well. So maybe another one of these on the back or something, just to make it the way I like it. So let me show you. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to maybe put some of this sparkly paper at the very back to be the sky. Hopefully that'll work kind of cool. Okay, so I'm just fiddling here because I want to make sure I get the dome top in this time. Last time I didn't really do that for the background, and I think it's better to do it this way. So I'm just gonna do that, and I'm going to again put a staple in just to keep things in place, and then I'm going to cut out around everything, but I also need a piece of acetate in here. So again, I've just used that transparency printer transparency. Hang on, I'm talking about this transparency film. It's for overhead projectors, and it's a nice weight plastic if you need something for a window type of thing. So I made that just big enough. It doesn't have to go under this part, but it has to definitely fit under the dome and on the bottom. So I'm gonna, if you can see, I've got all those things stacked up, right? So I'm going to cut this later, but I'm going to cut all of these other things right now, and trying to figure out how I'm going to. So all I'm going to do now is just cut at the bottom, because remember, I don't know if you remember, because I don't know if you've watched the other video, but we have to line all the bottom up. So we have to cut this so that when we put the signature pieces of this little scenery, they're all going to be aligned at the bottom, so we know which one is going in which order. So what I'm going to do is cut this. I'm going to put one more staple in a little bit closer to here. And I'm just going to cut this through all. Oh man, what I wouldn't give for a really good pair of scissors. You know, my son uses these. Yeah, so you know the rest of the story. You know, some are for material, some are for paper, and some are for other things, but not for cutting with your mother's scissors. So anyway, there we go. I got that all shrunk down. I'm going to cut up the top here and around this, so I have the full size. All right, so far so good. What do you think? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? There's the back, which is that shiny piece. And then I do have another one here, the same size, which I could put on the back for a little scene if I want to, or whatever I want to put on there. So I've cut around all of these edges pretty good. I could do a better job, I think. But I think that's not too bad. And now all I've done is I've left this edge because I have to think about how I'm going to be able to fold these so that they stay in and flip. So let me think about that. Okay, so I trimmed the mountaintop down a little bit because I didn't think that there was enough of this starry, sparkly sky. So I just trimmed the mountains down a little bit here. So I still got this to deal with. This will go on here. And that goes to there. So I'll kind of mark that in my mind where those are going to turn back. Right above the peak on that little house there. So right about there. These have to turn. So they're made of card, so it's fairly thick. But I'm thinking I'm going to try this. I'm going to just try and score that and bend those back. And then when I put a backing on, they'll just all fit in there, and they'll just flip from the side. Okay, so the scoreboard didn't work too well on that many layers of cardstock. So I used a pokey tool and a ruler. And I, made sure where I was going to be lining that up on the edge right there. And I just took a ruler and made a mark. I don't want to cut that first one. I don't want to cut that first page, but let's just see if this will turn. Yeah. Oh, it is kind of ripping on that first one a bit. I might just put some tape on that. That should be okay. Let me do that. Okay, so I still got the staple in here and here. So that's helping to keep those together. And then I'm turning it back. It's pretty thick. I might be able to, well, I'm going to have to burnish it, that's for sure. Okay, so I think that might work. It's fairly thick. I have to figure out how to maybe reduce that somehow. So that's going to take a little bit of a thought. Maybe a tea break or something would be good. But I've got like 6 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 6 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, counting that back. So, and these ones are all stapled together, but that back piece isn't. I could maybe take that back piece off. Ooh, let me figure. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to cut that back piece off. And then just glue these down onto the back of this and cut out another dome. out of something cool. Maybe another piece of silver for the back. And have a, or this isn't really going to be strong enough to hold that down. I'm going to need a solid piece back here. So I can probably cut that out. And I'm thinking I can probably get rid of this piece of the back dome silver. Because that's fairly thick. So I want to take a chance. So we just use this beast and cut through here. Ta-da. Now I'm going to just fold all of these back, which are just the pages, right? And I'm going to burnish the... Okay, so, like I said, I'm going to just burnish that edge really good. And I think if I made it, you know, if I reduce these in length at all, I'm going to end up with a bump. So I think I'm best to just stick with what I've got here. Cut out another one of these and then encase that whole thing in there. And then my pages, then I've got these little pages that'll flip. Look at this. Dee-dee, dee-dee, just what we wanted. Ta-da! I'm happy with that. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm not going to probably put too much on here. Maybe I'll have some sparkle or something for the pages just to beef them up a bit. But I'm not going to put on snow and a bunch of other stuff on this. Maybe a little iridescent paint might be happening, but so there we go. I'm going to do that, and I wanted to tell you about this with this acetate transparency stuff. If you use this, please learn from me and do not use hand sanitizer to wash. I had glue stuck on it, and I thought, instead of just using water, I thought, oh, I'll clean it with some hand sanitizer. That gets everything off. And I failed to realize that there is a coating on this plastic. It makes sense. It's the side that you print on, right? If you're going to do an overhead projector image. So do not use hand sanitizer. Just use water. All right, so this is going to go on to here. I'm going to glue this down on here. And I'm going to cut another dome for the back. And then I'll show you. So one thing you can do is before you do all this cutting out, is if you've got really nice wide double-sided tape, put that on the back of your picture before you cut out these windows. And then when you cut out the windows, all you'll have it will be on the parts here, and then you can just peel that off, especially if it's in nice long strips here. Peel that off and then stick that on your acetate. But I don't have that, so I have to use this good old. So I'm just about out of here, just about out of this. So I'm just gonna use this and get everywhere. And the reason I'm using this instead of other glue is because, well, I can paint this on. I guess I could paint on the art glitter glue too, which I find is like really my best bet. I think it sticks faster, and I use it for most. I do use this for other things, but I've sort of switched from using that as a glue to more of just a, I don't know, a cover, matte medium cover kind of thing. So I'm hoping that's going to be good and sticky. Got everything done. Got everywhere. I'll take my acetate. Is it dirty already? Get that up there. Come on. And plop that on. Now we don't need to get that top in, but I do need to get most of the bottom in if I can. And then pull it straight so that your bars aren't wrinkled. Or take your pokey tool as necessary and straighten those edges. You can trim that up later. So just make sure it's all down. Now, I didn't cut the windows out up the top here. I could still do that if I wanna. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty happy with what we've got right now. This is just sort of messing around, you know. It's not really like, it's just trying out things and see and learn. You know, learn by doing and try things, and then you know, like I didn't know that transparency could wash off with hand sanitizer, but now I do. So now we got that on, and of course there's gonna be glue. So I'm going to try and get most of that glue off just with water. Okay, so I just learned that even with water, it disrupts the surface. So next time I think I would test the little corner of this acetate transparency film and find out what is the side with the film on it, and make a little X on it, and maybe put that downwards onto this side, because this is the side has clean windows. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Like I said, we're just trying things out and letting it go. So I just putting this on, and I'm flipping it over so that I've got the back, just in case there's any differences here. And there probably isn't anything to really worry about, but I just thought it probably smarter just to flip it over. So that will be the back that we see. Actually, that will be on the back of here, right? Deenie. So I'm going to staple that on just a titch there so that that stays, and another little one on that side. So I've got that pretty secure on here. See that glue? Yeah, it's not the best glue for on plastic, I guess. I think I prefer this for most gluing. So I'm just going to cut this all out. So that will cut the transparency as well as this backing. Okay, so I realized when I was cutting that I need to fiddle and tiddle this up a little bit, but I realized that I should not have cut the acetate off on this side, because that acetate, how else am I going to hinge this, right? So I thought, well, okay, what do I do now? How am I going to fix that? So I'm thinking, here's the back piece. That's going to turn out kind of cool once that's on there. That should go inside of there, onto there. And I'll have to fix it up a bit, but that's going to go there. That'll work. I think that should work okay. It's another little prototype kind of thing. So a lot of things have to be lined up a little bit better. But back to this problem. I thought, okay, let's cut another one. This time of the acetate. I don't have to worry too much about going to the top. What am I going to do on the inside of here? I think, I don't know. I think I need to fancy this up too. I don't like that plain like that. But before I do, I'm going to cut another one out. And I'm going to leave a little bit on the side there that I can turn, flip back like I did on these pages, and it can go to the back. And that's what will secure that little front dome on. So, I'm out by like a freaking titch. What if I turned it this way? Well, I guess you just kind of hate to waste a big chunk of paper for the tiniest little thing like that. I do anyway. So is it important? Let me think. Okay, so I'm gonna, to me it's not important. I figured I can figure something out with that once I put the back on anyway, or however I want to decorate that up. So I'm gonna now have 2 pieces of acetate here, and I'm going to, again, find somewhere that I could staple these that it's not going to be too noticeable once I take the staples out. Right? I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to make sure I leave. And on this one, I'm going to go from here to there. From the point of the top of the dome before it goes to the roof part, the upper dome, to the cagey part, straight down. I'm going to go from that edge to that edge, the bottom of the wooden base. I'm going to come straight out and straight out. Now I've left quite a bit here in comparison to what I did before, because I want that to really flap behind, really flap over everything. So I'll show you. Okay, so I'm thinking here, well, now I've got 2 pieces of acetate. I'm just going to cut this while I'm yakking. I've got 2 pieces of acetate now, right? The back of this one and the new one. And I'm thinking it would be kind of neat if it's a snow dome to put some snow in there. And then I thought, well, I don't have glitter. It's not the kind of thing I usually have. But what I do have is Epsom salts, right? That's like snow. And I only want a little bit because there's not a lot of space in here. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, if it's going to, you know, shake or not, but I thought I'd try it. So yesterday, a girlfriend down the street and I went to a Belle's Christmas concert at the local Anglican church. And the donations they were collecting were to go and support the other Anglican church that burnt down in the Jasper fires. A little bit so you can see a little more. So they expected maybe 100. I think that little church holds 100 people, 125 maybe, and there was probably close to 300 people there. They were overwhelmed and so thrilled that everybody had come. And I grew up in Jasper, so this was near and dear to me, and such a great, wonderful thing. And the concert was really, really nice. It was just the people that go to the church in our community that go to that church, and they have this bell ringing, and it was so good. They played lots of songs, and there was a choir that was singing, and there was a little bit of a service, not too much, not too preachy. Anglican church isn't really preachy anyway. It was really, really pleasant. And I gotta say, it's the first time I've been in church for many years. Yike. So I guess Christmas is the time to sort of shake things up. Okay, so let's carry on here. I'm going to not forget, I'm going to cut this out before I forget that I'm going to end up chopping it off or something. So I'm going to just cut this piece off and cut out this chunk here, and then I'll have my flap before I forget. Okay, so now that I've decided to do that, here comes the tricky part. How am I going to get this in here and glue the edges? I'm hoping that, I wish I had super glue, because that would do the trick right smart. But I don't. It's on my list. The get it list. When you think about it list. I always leave the list at home. But it's on my list, and I will be getting some, because there's many times that I find a little bit of super glue would just do the trick. So I'm going to use this. Dries clear. Oh, I thought it dried matte. It says it dries clear. So that's what I'm going to use. I lost my stopper, so I'm just using a good old pin. So let's try it. Let's see what happens. I'm going to just get in here and go around the edges. Just a titch. With this. And I'm going to leave a little pocket. Where am I? Get up here. Get up here. I'm going to just, oh, come on. Get off here. So, thank goodness it dries clear. So I got a little in there. Okay, so I just went around the edges, up to here and up to here. I'm going to let that dry before I do anything else. On the bottom and the edge here. And some of this needs to get cleaned. Okay, so I'm happy enough with that. So I'm going to put a little bit of Epsom salts in there, and then glue this other edge. And then I'm going to fold this back. Actually, I'm going to fold that now while I've got it here and while I'm thinking about it. So I'm just going to fold that back. Right? And that's going to go around there. And because it's a bit bigger, it's going to go to there. Right? So now, the other thing is, if I was going to cover this with something, like the last page, I'm not sure. I think I might just glue it down. I might just glue that mountaintop onto there. So that means, once I get all this to there, I could staple that. I could staple that onto there, right? And then cover the staples up with this. So that'll even be stronger than, but that's next. That's next, okay. I'm kind of all over the place today, but I'm just trying to work things out. And I just thought maybe you'd like to just see how my brain works. Maybe you could tell me. Okay, so I think I'm happy about that so far. So I'm gonna get a little bit of this. Let's get you up out of the way here. Sorry about that. So I don't need much of this. So just gonna take a little, this is my daughter's baby spoon. I'm gonna just take some of that, Epsom salts. Oh, that smells good. I'm hoping this is gonna work. It doesn't matter if it doesn't. Then I'll know it doesn't work, and I won't do it again. Well, that's not true. I might, but I'll do something different. So I'm gonna just stick that in there. Get that out of the way. And I made a little shaker. Now I'm just gonna glue this part down. And I'm gonna glue from this side where I can really see. And we're gonna go get that stuff out. All the way down here. And back to this corner. Because that now can be totally enclosed. Because we don't need to worry about it. And because this stuff dries clear, this great glue, I know people think it's expensive, you know, but I've kind of priced it out, and I used to go through this, and this is like, by the time I get this, it's at least $12, $14 a tiny jar, 3 fluid ounces. And it's good for as a matte medium, like I said, but it's not that great of a glue. But this one is. And so when you buy the little dinky ones, it's very expensive. But when you buy the bigger one, I bought the 8 ounce, and I have filled this up. Well, I can fill this up 4 times. And it was the price of about maybe 2 of these. So I got double the amount when you buy the larger 8 ounce size. Now, I think there's a problem that they can't mail this during the winter or something like that. So you might have to go to your local dealer. Go to your dealer. Anyway, there we go. That's all dry. I'm going to leave this for a minute now. I'm going to go take a break and be back. Okay, so the trick here, there's our Epsom salts in there. It's kind of worked out okay. Little snow. I don't know if you can see that. Got a little snow in there. A little shaker. So now what we need to do is put this front onto here. Now we've got to make sure that this reaches over to this side, and just stick it on because you're going to have stuff over. So make sure you start from, pull it from this edge, line everything up, and then make yourself a little bit of a gusset here. Just a little bit more of a gusset to go over that. So you'll have the tiniest little dippity-doo right there. Then put this on. Line it up where it's got to go, this side. So that when it closes perfectly. Now we might want to trim this down a bit. And just wiggle it into place. Okay, so there, that's that. That's on pretty good. Now that I'm feeling like the location is okay, I'm going to do a couple more. Just to really secure that in there. Those pages and that plastic. I've now got about 5 or 6 staples in there. And then we've got the back to put on. Now this back I cut out at the same time as I was cutting out something else. So it's a bit wobbly. But I'm going to glue that on to cover that. And there I'll have the back of the dome in sparkly. I might put another bit on the bottom here to look like a dome if I print that front dome thing again. I thought I had another one around here somewhere, actually. I probably do. I have to just find it. So my mess isn't too bad, but I've certainly seen worse. But I'll have to go and see if I can, where I've got that little piece, because I thought I had 2 of those. I'm sure I did. I showed you that earlier and I haven't used it anywhere. So, okay. Now this, some of these little plastic can be sharp, so just make that nice. And glue this on with a good glue. And clamp it and whatnot, and then we'll come back when I've got that on and I've got it cut down nicely. Okay, so I just glued that on, and I'm clamping this, especially on this edge. I want those glued edges to be glued very well, and that's what I've got for there. Now I've got a little lantern. This is kind of like the one I had on the last, which I might put in there because I quite like that. But we'll see. So there we go. I put this on the back. I put the bottom wood on the back. I put a lantern in there. I probably will go around the edges a little bit. And this is hickory smoke. No, it's called scorched timber. Maybe they have a hickory smoke, I don't know. This is, I'm just going to go around here a little bit, just to take the white from the edges of the paper, and give that a little bit of a frame. I had debated putting another one of these on the back, and went through cutting the windows and whatnot, but then I thought, nope, I'm just going to put the lantern on the back, because I really like that. And that's how it turned out. I'm pretty pleased with this. It's a different little unit for sure. So here's a real quick flip through. Since you've stayed with me all of this time, goodness sakes, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. So we made a little shaker card. A snow globe. A real snow globe, almost. A paper snow globe. Right? Turned out cool. I really like it. Let me know what you guys think. You gonna make one? Okay, so there's our little village inside. Let's get the snow down to the bottom. And then we open the book. I don't have anything on here. I might put this on there before I'm finished. Whoa, we'll see. As I don't really want that plain. And I think if it's covered up with something, it would be better. So anyway, they're never finished, are they? So there's our little book. There's our little village. Da-da. And again, and another page, and another page, and another page. And then I did glue this page down onto this, what is it? Whatever. I don't know what this is called. What is this? I think I work for him or something. I'm always advertising his stuff. Sparkle Classic Ideology. But it is nice, and it turned out pretty good. I think there's a little bit of trimming that I could do just to spiff it a bit, you know, but I don't want to, it's hard to line everything up. So, and then on the back. So here we build our village from the back. We come forward and forward through the village and to the front. So I thought that worked out really, really well. I'm so glad I worked through a few of these things, because when I was making the other one, the bigger one, the original one, there was a lot of things that I made it different from the way that Bohemian Crafting made hers. I mean, I followed her ideas and stuff, but there was things when I was doing it, I was thinking, maybe you could do this instead. And so this is what I did. You know, instead of making the signatures the way she did, I just made them as single pages. There's still room, lots of room to write. Basically, you know, it's pretty much the same. I did leave one scene out, but there we go. I am really thrilled with this. I'm really pleased. I wasted a day. I wasted away a day, and I'm really glad I did. I was happy to share that with you, and I'm glad that you shared that with me. So take care of yourselves, and yeah, light a lantern somewhere. Light someone's life, or, you know, spread some cheer. It's that time of year. And make something. Make something, give it away. Okay, thanks again. Bye-bye.